I think your contributions there are really spot on. I was first elected as City Councillor myself in 2004, and I suppose over the last 16 years have experienced firsthand how the roles and the demands of the role has changed. I want to thank you, Minister, for coming into the House today to address this very important issue that really does go to the core of our democracy. I want to thank the independent senators for facilitating the House, but there is absolute unanimity amongst the senators on the importance of the role of our locally elected representatives, the invaluable service that they provide not just to their local communities, but how they support us as national legislators also to do our job. And I speak today on the first speaker on behalf of the Fianna Fáil group, but I know, Minister, I should apologise probably because we have you tormented in your short 6 months in office. I know have you pestered on this issue. You're not alone. We have shared it out with your Senior Minister, Darragh O'Brien, and Minister for Public Expenditure, Michael McGrath, and indeed the Fianna Fáil senators have raised this issue directly with the Taoiseach, not on one occasion, but on a number of occasions. And I want to also pay tribute to the councillors' representatives themselves, those on LAMA and the AILG, who have done a tremendous job in championing the role of the councillors and in highlighting this really important issue in terms of the pay, and that's of course what the media will talk about, but the conditions of work of our local elected representatives. The Fianna Fáil senators insisted when a programme for government was being put together that there would be a commitment for local authority members. And while we don't have a unanimity, I suppose, in terms of the Moorhead report, and I would certainly, as a person who has worked for a long time at a local authority level, take issue with a number of the assertions, but I've got 3 minutes left, so I won't get into all of that. But we did insist that there was a commitment for local authority members in the programme for government. We did insist that the report would be published, and we did insist that in the first year of government that this government would deliver for our local authority members. So, Minister, you know that that is what we are looking for, and we will not stop demanding that until it is delivered. And I hope you do come to the House today with some information for us on it, because, as the Cathaoirleach said, there's over 900 local authority members, and they are tasked every day with giving strategic direction to our executives in the more than 31 local authorities. They are tasked with passing budgets, €5 billion in budgets, the strategic development plans that will take 2 years and engage all of our local communities, that will drive development in our local communities. Though all of our councillors are involved in that. They're involved in chairing and being members of strategic policy committees that determine our bylaws, that determine the level of service that's been delivered for environmental services, housing, the parks, the libraries, all of these incredibly valuable services in our communities. And all of our local authority members do this. They're operating 7 days a week. You know, they're on call in their local communities. They don't get to leave their local communities, and they do it with a heart. They do it with a heart. They champion their local communities. They champion their local sports organisations, their schools. They deal with individual constituents on a personal basis. They progress queries for them on an individual basis, but they also think of their wider communities, and they champion their wider communities and their counties. And for all of that, you know, 17,000 a year, it is not a living wage. It is not a living wage. And I don't exaggerate when I say that the vast majority of our councillors are themselves having to hold down full-time jobs. But there are some that are really impoverished, financially impoverished by the role that they're undertaking for their communities. Local government is the cornerstone of our democracy. And we need to ensure that our local government is diverse. And it's diverse in terms of the demographics. We need more women involved in politics. We need more young people involved in politics. We need people with experience involved in politics. But if we want to ensure that we have diversity at a local authority level, at that most detailed level of our local democracy, we have to pay a living wage. We have to also provide these invaluable public servants with a pension. That's not unreasonable. That is not an unreasonable request. And for the women who will give of their time and take time from their families and from their careers to serve their local communities, the minimum they deserve is to be provided with maternity leave. I had my own 3 children when I was serving as a local authority member on Dublin City Council. I remember being in labour in the Rotunda and being castigated in the media for not attending a meeting. Like, the ridiculousness of it. I couldn't be in 2 places at the one point in time. But honestly, you know, that is such a basic. So, Minister, all I'm asking, all of the Fianna Fáil group is asking for, is respect, recognition that this is not a part-time role, recognition that this is an incredibly valuable role in our democracy, and fair pay and fair compensation for a fair day's work that our local authority members are undertaking 7 days a week. Guramaghad.